Okay.
Perfect. And and we are live. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to a very special edition of Off the Record on the People's Podcast this afternoon. We have an incredible guest with us, one who's going to give us some amazing information as well as inspiration, and that is none other than the incredible author, speaker, historian, and just a legend in the community, none other than Sister Shahrazad Ali. Assalamu alaikum, ma'am.
Wa alaikum salam.
This means a lot to myself, my family, and the viewing audience of the People's Podcast that you would take time out of your busy schedule to come on the People's Podcast. All right, the first question that we have for you, ma'am, is how did you get into becoming a speaker and an author? How did that come about?
Well, I actually, when I wrote my first book in 1985, How Not to Eat Pork, A Life Without the Pig, I had got with Ruby Dee and her husband, and we had been talking in New York, and I had given a presentation about not eating pork. And at that time, I was taking the microscope around and showing people on the slides what the pork worm does in your bones, and that you couldn't kill it really with heat, just a lot of things. And so we started talking, and they say, you need to take this bigger on the road. In fact, you need to start speaking about the things that you're talking about. And they said that's how they had started and so forth. And so I said, oh, okay. And then I thought about it. And then as the market expanded from me talking about the pork book, I started to learn that many times it was Black men who were willing to change their diet, but it was a lot of Black women who were saying things like, he gonna eat what I cook. Hey, I ain't his mama anyway, and all this kind of stuff. And so that made me think, if we are withholding the proper food from the Black man, and food is what sustains life, then what else are we withholding that would also starve him of other kinds of nutrients? And that's how I started writing the Black Man's Guide to Understanding the Black Woman. And as they say, the rest is history. I played the Apollo when they weren't even doing books in the Apollo in New York. With Gary Bird, I had did that. And so then that just opened up, the whole country. If you can take New York, you can take anywhere.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Powerful. Okay. Well, speaking of that, from you starting in 1985 to now in 2023, did you ever see that we would still have such a need for someone like you and others to speak about male-female relationships within the Black community? Did you foresee that we would still be having gender wars and things of this nature within the community?
Well, I've talked about that a lot with people, and people have told me I was kind of ahead of my time in the sense that people saying today, I could have just wrote that book today because the same thing is going on 32 years later or something. But I knew that I was bringing issues that would not be welcome at first. But I have lived to see so many people who started out hating me and my books now writing to me, telling me that I was right, or that they did something and that it corrected their lives and relationship, or they're giving the book to their daughter for a wedding gift. And so, I have really lived to see that turnaround, because I was talking about things that I learned about and that I had seen and started seeing more of, and I didn't see any change coming. So yeah, I thought that it would still be relevant for today and all days until we make the kind of changes we need to make as Black men and Black women to improve our condition.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, wonderful. People are showing you love all across the country. Shout out to my sister Naima saying assalamu alaikum, brother Nader. People saying, oh wow, excellent. It's an honor to have you. It's an honor to have you on the podcast. Okay.
Thank you.
So right now, what is trending to a detriment to our community is people, men and women, deciding just to turn on to go to other races or to go to turn on. Like, do you see a need in 2023 for us to fight for love within Black men and Black women?
Well, if we intend to survive, we certainly need to. They used to say that mafia stood for Mothers and Fathers in Association. So we can't have no Black mafia because we ain't in association with each other. And the only people that we decide to separate from is each other. We don't separate from our open enemy who's killing our men and our children and women every day, who's brutalizing us not only financially, but physically. We don't separate from them. In fact, we justify being with them and how much we love them and how much they love us. Where at the same time, we are so easy to decide to separate from each other. And that's who we practice separation on. And every time we separate, every time we break up, they win. Because the whole goal is to keep the Black man and Black woman from getting together, from keeping you from knowing your real potential and who you are, and teaching the Black woman to how to be the proper wife and mother that we need to create new people. The only way we're going to have any new people is if we have them. They're going to have to come through us as Black women. And we talk about all of that about, teach them in the cradle. Well, we do teach in the cradle. We just teach the wrong thing. Our children don't have any idea pretty much who they are. And by the time our Black children are 2 or 3 years old, they know Spider-Man, they recognize Superman, they recognize Mickey Mouse, Carmel Melon, Sesame Street. They recognize all those characters. But if you ask them who Marcus Garvey is, or to recognize Honorable Elijah Muhammad, or to recognize Malcolm X even, or any of our other Black leaders, Booker T. Washington, George Washington Carver, they don't know who those people are. Excuse me. They don't know who those people are. So we are teaching, we're just teaching the wrong thing. And I recognize something the other day, Joshua, that we really need while Black people out here having all these seminars on how to buy stocks and bonds and what to do, with your outfit and your hair and all of this nonsense. We need classes on co-parenting. We need classes on co-parenting. Somebody needs to come up with some seminars or teachings. The enemy is not going to give us that information because he wants us to continue to destroy our children and traumatize them by the two people who claim to love them, their mother and their father. We need to have classes on co-parenting. And that's a job for somebody, and I guarantee you'll get a lot of clients. But that is something that we don't know how to do. We don't follow the enemy's recommendations, and we don't come up with any ourselves to keep us from fighting over the children who we love the most.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, now Sister Shahrazad Ali, for the women specifically, then we'll come to the men. For the sisters out there who have seen your clips go viral on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and they want to find a Black king, a Black man, and fall in love and get married and have children and things of that nature. What advice would you give to the single sisters?
Well, we need to look at, we do have some potential because opposites attract and alike repel. So you're not going to find anybody who has it all straightened out because none of us have it straightened out. And I say all the time, we all suffer from PTSD. Every one of us has it. Childhood is brutal. We live in a hostile environment. We've been fed the wrong food. We're drinking the wrong water. So we have a lot of things against us that we have to be aware of. And instead of that, and people like myself, we're considered as old heads. We OG, we out of style. But there are certain universal principles that govern everything all the time. That's why the people who believe in the Bible believe it's written for every day, just like the Quran and the Torah. It is currently written for whoever the people are. They're going through some level of the same kind of nonsense that we've been going through for 500 years. And so we really need to work on that, and the sisters start to cook. We have not taught our daughters how to be good. We have just taught them how to look good. And that's just not enough. It's just not enough. And our men have grown stagnant because we have turned the entire issue, since we don't have any standards that we can all go by and agree on, since we don't have any rules of what the woman's identity and her responsibilities are, or what the man's responsibility are, our men have turned just to sex. And so that is what we have used to define whether or not we get along. We don't even date anymore. You all not dating no women. Because we don't know how to date. We take it sometime as some kind of opportunity to get somebody to buy us $100 dinner, or get us number 10 hair, or get our nails done, or our eyelashes done, or something else false that we don't need, since we are the most beautiful woman on the earth. But they have convinced us that in order to be beautiful, that we have to have something that we buy from other races who are not as beautiful as us, not as talented as us, and not as anything as us, you know. So we got it mixed up. And I don't know at what point will we decide that, you know, we need to do this differently. But as I said, the only people we want to separate from is each other. And so now our men are going to foreign countries to get women whom they think they'll have heaven with, or they're marrying white women who they think is going to give them heaven, because these people have not been through the kind of trauma that we have been through here in America. And so it looks like it's simpler to get with them. And then when you all get with a white woman or a woman in a foreign country, you can make up any kind of personality you want to, because they don't know you. They don't know what your life is. They don't know how you acted over here with us. And so, you know, you all can go there and make up some kind of personality and be with them and think you're going to have that kind of heaven all the time, when it's no such thing, because the entire earth is in turmoil now, not just here in America.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, well, Sis Shahrazad Ali, thank you for leading into the past and the men who want to travel to get different races and things of that nature. What advice would you give to the single Black men in our pursuit of finding a partner, a Black queen, or a queen period,
well,
specifically a Black queen?
You know, when you plant a seed, you have to nourish the seed. And so we need to look to our Black women about how they're raising y'all future Black women, which is little girls. We are teaching them the wrong standards of beauty. We have little girls 5 and 6 years old who already have weaves, perms, and all of this kind of stuff, because we say we don't have time to deal with the hair. We have the best coil hair on the earth. We have the hair that everybody wants. We have the skin color. We have the eyes. We don't have to add any color to our skin. You know, the only person that the sun is diametrically opposed to is the Caucasian race. The sun punishes them. All the vitamins of life come from the sun except for them. And we keep trying to be more like them because we don't accept who we are, because we think it's too much trouble to maintain it. And so we need to stop teaching our little girls that they need something that you buy at the store to be beautiful. They are already beautiful, and people of the earth know that they're beautiful. And the brothers need to talk to the sisters. You all have not been able to overcome your low desires, because you all need to talk with the sisters about getting on the Instagrams and the Facebooks and stuff and showing their naked behinds, shaking it to the world. This image goes all over the world. And when we travel or go places, this is who they think the Black woman is. Some kind of naked tramp that's running around showing her buttocks to the world. Who would ever thought that hot pants would turn into that?
Yes, ma'am. You're teaching and people are showing you love all across the country. This is the Shahrazad Ali. My next question, ma'am, is how can we get these books and how can we support you?
Yes, well, we sent you my QR code. You can get them on Amazon and eBay, but make sure it says you are buying directly from the author. Because there's so many people out there, they're selling my book, brother, for $100, $75. And I would never rob our people like that. I let y'all give that money to Nike and other people. But for me, I only charge $20 and $30 for my books. And you can get them. Just look up The Real Shahrazad, The Real Sister Ali, and on Amazon, I think. Also, we're on Amazon and eBay. But just make sure it says you're buying directly from the author.
Wonderful. Yes, ma'am. We have a quick 60-second commercial break, and we're coming back with plenty of questions for our sister. Thank you very much for your time, ma'am. 1 second. I want to thank everybody who's showing love to everyone and will continue to show love on the People's Podcast. We can't wait to upload this to YouTube. 1 second.
A camera and a drone. He does television and film editing. Please reach out to him if you need any of those services. Sister Miriam's ABC I Love Me, children's book and coloring book, and now Spanish book. All 3 available on Amazon.com. Sister Naima's Stay on Point Dance Academy, LLC. She teaches ballet virtually to young girls all across the country, right here in the studios of Atlanta, Georgia. Brother Kenneth's Bow Tie Maker Extraordinaire. He'll ship you bow ties anywhere across the nation. Dr. Henry Carter's King Henry Turkey Legs, right here in Atlanta, Georgia. It's COVID-19 disinfected cleaning services out of Chicago. Student Minister Sharif Muhammad's book, A Soldier in the Movement of Christ, available on adulsharif.com. And lastly, Brother Joshua Muhammad's book, Cleopatra, as well as No Father, No Excuse, both available on Amazon. If you would like to donate or
Perfect. All right. I want to thank everyone who continues to like, share, and subscribe to the People's Podcast. Right back with the iconic and legendary Sister Shahrazad Ali. My next question for you, ma'am, is when you are giving information, traveling throughout the country since 1985, have you ever been faced with fear? And if so, how have you overcome that fear?
I always have security, of course,
Yes, ma'am.
And but hey, I have to rely on Allah to protect me. I'm not sent by God. I'm not trying to turn myself into somebody else. I sent me. Okay. My teacher said, take your Islam and make it work for you.
Yes, ma'am.
And so I took the teachings that I understood and tried to put it in a contemporary language. The messenger said, if you do not speak the language, you will not be successful. And so I tried to just tell it, in the way that I saw it. I'm not saying that I have all the answers. I have been through or whatever the hell everybody else going through and trying to have relationships, raise their children. We all here in hell, in the wilderness, and we all suffer the same problems. We just think that our problems are different because it's us. But all of us, as I said, have this PTSD. We're trying to figure it out. We're trying to testify. We're going with popular culture because it looks like it's easier. And we're doing things that historically we have never done. We are doing things against ourselves that we have never done. And so we need to look at that. Any Black couple that's trying to get together today, no matter how modern they think they are, should not exclude the topic of slavery and what it's going to do to your relationship. Because let me tell you all, your audience, what my books are. The Black Man's Guide to Understanding the Black Woman.
Yes, ma'am.
The Black Woman's Guide to Understanding the Black Man. Are You Still a Slave? Which is a test book that helps you to take a couple of tests and determine, are you still acting like a slave even without a slave master? And then the other book, of course, is Urban Survival, which is going to teach us how to prepare our food or what we need to survive the hell and famine that's coming to America. We're going to need more than water and toilet paper this time when the banks and the money, and we're going to have more equality. What separates us now, brother, is some of us have some money and class distinction. But once the dollar fails, then we're going to have equality because nobody's going to have any more than anybody else. And we're going to have forced unity and depend on and count on each other and share with each other. So things are coming differently. But then my next book is Things Your Parents Should Have Told You, which is a book for our young people. Everybody who's got a child from 12 to 18 need to give that child this book to help them to understand the hostile environment we live in instead of growing up like their parents and trying to normalize their captivity. We need to do that. And we need to tell our children who the enemy is. This is why so many of them have gotten killed, because we never told them who the enemy was, because we didn't want to be considered as prejudiced. We're not prejudging. We have proof that this is our enemy and that we need to teach our children something different so that they can survive. The things that I talk about, you don't have to go join no group. You ain't got to do none of those kind of things. You just got to look at yourself and try to clean that up and do what you need to do. There's no holy book. There's no any kind of teachings religious over the centuries that mention the word fun. Yeah, and that talk about a party. That's not anything that's important to our development. And the fact that we have now defined fun as a perverted act, something that's usually filthy and that you could not take before the civilized world, that's very bad for us too. But that's only because we haven't had any teachings or upbringing that would show us how to be more civilized.
Excellent. Yes, ma'am. And thank you. And we have two more questions for you, Sis Shahrazad Ali. You're teaching, and people are showing you love all across the country. My brother Rashad said facts. You can put fire emojis and clapping. And praise be to Allah. Listen, my next question, you spoke about the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. How were you introduced to the teachings of Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad?
Oh, I don't try to teach no religion to y'all because all of y'all already confused. So I don't try to add to that confusion.
Yes,
everybody, whatever you believe, then hold on to that and believe it. Because in a very short time, we're going to all find out who was representing God and who was representing the enemy. So it's okay. I'm not trying to do that. I can't be converted, so I don't try to convert anybody else. What I talk about is universal principles that govern the success of a nation, of a family, of a group, of any people that you put together. And that's what I discuss. But I am not out here representing the teachings of the messenger or anybody else who claim they are. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Wonderful. Okay, what advice would you give to mothers?
The what?
To mothers. What advice would you give to mothers?
Well, we a lot of our problems just stemming from nature. We have a very strong drive to mate, just like other mammals. And so what we have to do is try to first control that, work that energy off. We've all, our women have gained weight, they big and fat, and got people to accept it. They have bad health. The children are overweight. They're getting diabetes at 6 and 7 years old because of a bad diet. So we're working at some very difficult things. Our people had stopped eating pork for about 40 years. And now they're all back eating hog. They think it's fashionable. And a lot of times my teacher told me that if we didn't buy it, they would give it to us free. And you look at that happening too. So we start the children out with a wrong diet, with a lot of sugar and things. So we have a lot of work to do. And none of the work as mothers that we have to do have anything to do with fake hair and long fingernails. And this is what we have got into: self-worship. We want to have the best makeup. We want to have the longest eyelashes, the biggest breasts. And even now we're even getting our buttocks blown up bigger. And we're dying from all of these different changes and suffering terrible illnesses from trying to change our body when our men love us any way we come. So now our men have decided y'all like big old fat women because that's how we are now. And so you all like that. So, and I try to tell the sisters, they're going to like whatever we present you with. You're going to like it because y'all want to be with us and we want to be with you. But we need to return to trying to prepare food instead of feeding our children all the junk food because it's quick. Listen, the further away from home a mother works, the more the family suffers. Now that's real because it takes too much time back and forth. It takes your head to go count on what somebody else's program is instead of dealing with the development of the new nation that's coming behind us. And we need to look at their condition and figure out, what do we think they're going to morph into? What do we think our men are going to do? They're getting a skillless education. The public school system has failed our children. And we need to be fighting right now as Black people to get shop put back in the schools, because that is the only thing that gave our young men, especially, a foundation and taught our young women to cook in home economics. We need shop. We need home economics. They have it for their children. They have it for their grandchildren. We don't have anything for ours. We keep counting on the enemy to educate our children and to teach them the skills to survive. They're not trying to teach them to survive. They're trying to kill them like they're trying to kill us. So it's ridiculous for us to keep turning our children over to them, expecting a different outcome. I would not recommend anybody put their child in college anymore. Our people need to do what Booker T. Washington said to do. We need to work on the hands-on jobs. A computer can't do plumbing. A computer can't do electrical work. A computer can't fix your car. We need to take over those jobs. The Jews came here and took over real estate because it was so hard a language and work that didn't nobody else want it. And so today, they are the kings of real estate all over the country. So there are a lot of jobs. Anybody can make their own job, especially a man, by just learning a trade. And so we need that back in our schools so you all will learn to do something. Work ties a man to the earth. If a man comes out of school, he ain't got nothing to do, we know the streets are going to get him. If a girl comes out of school and she has nothing to do, we know she's going to get pregnant because then that'll give her something to do. We're all looking for something to do. We just need to figure out how to get some money for it legally so that we don't give them another reason to put us in jail or kill us.
Excellent teaching. We have one more question from you, Sis Shahrazad Ali. And thank you all for saying, say that, preach. Yes, ma'am. Going off. Facts. Our last question for you, Sis Shahrazad Ali, is what would you like your legacy to be, ma'am?
Well, that's difficult. Usually a person, you can work on our legacy, but the public decides what it's going to be. And I would want it to be that I stayed consistent on my message. This has been my ministry, and I would like it to be consistent and continue to teach what I've been teaching for the past almost 40 years, and people tell me, you say the same thing. I said, well, y'all didn't get it yet. So I gotta say the same thing. You ain't never seen one commercial. Repeat means everything. So I do talk about the same thing. Ain't no new information coming. This is the information. And if we don't make these changes, then we're just plotting our own destruction. Not completely, because there's no history of the Black man being destroyed and everybody else living.
Fact. Well, yes, ma'am. Well, on that positive note, I want to thank you on behalf of myself, my family, and the viewing audience of the People's Podcast for your sacrifices, the sacrifices of your family, your ministry, and your continued education to represent the salvation and the freedom of our people all across the diaspora. I want to thank you very much, Sis Shahrazad Ali. This means so much to me. We respect you and show nothing but love.
Do you have my QR code up?
Okay, I was trying to work with your granddaughter. We have to put it on the YouTube once we upload it to YouTube.
Okay, all right. And yes, also, let me give you my Cash App in case y'all want to pay my gas bill or something.
Yes,
okay, it's a $SAUDAME, SAUDAME, $SAUDAME, SAUDAME. And if y'all want to bless me with something on that would be good, Joshua.
Yes, ma'am. And we're going to make sure we upload this on YouTube as well as put the links in the YouTube link shortly.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you, ma'am. This is Joshua Muhammad signing off with the People's Podcast. Assalamu alaikum, ma'am.
Wa alaikum salam.
Thank you all for watching, and thank you again.